Minus 42, not the temperature in St. Louis, but the Blues goal differential, the worst in the NHL. VGK looks to handle business, breakthrough in the gateway to the West against a team that is struggling about as much as the Golden Knights. More ahead next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again from Las Vegas, Tony Dasco and Chris Gawlik. Welcome to Locked On Golden Knights. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, and now we are the #1 sports podcasting network on the planet. I'm a longtime sportscaster, marketing consultant, the host of the Saturday Sports Beat radio show on Odyssey. Chris is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and the host of the Hockey News Collectibles Show. Now, coming up ahead on today's show, we've got previews of the weekend games for VGK today in St. Louis and Sunday in Chicago. Noah Hanifin joins Jack Eichel amongst the Golden Knights that are named on the Olympic teams. He'll play for Team USA. And WTF What the Friday with your comments. Don't forget to watch us each and every day on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Tune in 1 o'clock Monday through Friday to SSSEN. You could find us on YouTube TV, on Cox Cable Channel 77, daily at 1 p.m. So, Chris, the Golden Knights will not be playing against the upper echelon of the Central Division this weekend, but they do have a couple of road encounters against two teams fighting to get in the wild card race. First team is the St. Louis Blues. You know, I watched some of their game against the Avalanche a couple of days ago, and early on, St. Louis had as many shots for as Colorado goals. They also had 4 goals. They trailed 4-0 in the first 4 minutes of the game. And that is an avalanche of goals. This is a game that VGK needs, having lost 5 of 6. The Golden Knights are still hurting, still smarting, perhaps. Braden McNabb likely out for VGK, as the Golden Knights recalled yesterday Jacob Magna on defense. And this should be a game that VGK can compete in, regardless of who is in the lineup. It is a 12 noon matinee in St. Louis today.
It's the best part about the game, the start time. Looking at this Blues lineup, I mean, geez, Rob Thomas centering Buchnevich and Jonathan Berggren, Braden Shen line 2 at Jimmy Snugard, Jake Neighbors, Dvorsky on line 3 at Kyrou and Otto Stenberg. I mean, there's not much to like about this Blues team. Broberg with Parayko on the top D pairing, Fowler and Justin Falk. And then Kessel, not that Kessel, Matthew Kessel, no relation to the hot dog man, and Tyler Tucker on defense, Binnington, and I'm sure they probably got a backup goaltender that's better than Binnington. The Olympian Jordan Binnington, I guess, Joel Hofer. So, you know, listen, like you said, I mean, 2 points on the line here. Golden Knights really need to find a path to 4 points this weekend and just to right the ship a little bit here, but I don't think it's going to be that easy, either one of these games.
The Blues are 30th in the NHL in scoring. Don't expect a big explosion of goals, but you have to be concerned about the Lindy Ruff system, where defensemen will join into the rush. They jump in, and they do get opportunities on odd man rushes. You have to be careful about that.
I mean, sure, but this is the type of game where I don't think the Golden Knights can lose to the Blues as much as they can beat themselves. Minus 156, the Golden Knights are. Blues are plus 130. And really, the Braden McNabb situation, we won't have an update until probably after today's game, since it's an early game. Assume he's not going to be on the ice. And this is where we're going to get what we're calling it day-to-day for now, and we'll reevaluate in XYZ, which really means it's going to be week-to-week. Or if it comes out, we're calling it week-to-week. For now, it's really month-to-month. So this is where the Coach Cassidy, a coach speak, if you will certainly give us an indicator of what's really happening with Braden McNabb.
Only 3 players for the Blues have, Chris, over 20 points. Robert Thomas, 29 points, is their leading scorer. Pavel Buchnevich has 21. The defenseman Robert Falk with 20. Torrey Krug is out. Dylan Holloway's out. Pius Suter's out. as well as Nick Bukestad. And this is a team that's going in the opposite direction, although they're just a couple of points out of a wild card spot due to parity in the NHL.
I don't know if I don't know if the Blues are really going much farther in the opposite direction as the Golden Knights right now.
Right.
Both teams are certainly on a bit of a slide. I mean, as bad as this Blues team is that we're talking about, there's only 7 points separating them, and the Blues find a path to go on these wacky runs where they're completely unexplainable, and hopefully it doesn't start today.
Meanwhile, VGK skates in Chicago on Sunday. The Blackhawks have a Saturday night game in the nation's capital against the Caps. So back to back, they have to travel, and we know how gnarly
from DC. That's awesome.
Yeah, we know that gnarly travel is definitely the norm this time of year. The Blackhawks have pretty much gone to the youth movement. Conor Bedard, last check, was out. Frank Nazar is out as well. And they're relying on the youth movement, Ryan Green, Nick Lardis, defenseman Artie Levshunov, and Oliver Moore. All these guys are starting to get a lot of playing time. Chicago had a 6-game losing streak before the holiday break. Now they come out of it at 2-1-1, and they knock off the Dallas Stars last night for a second time this season. That's inexplicable, and they're knocking on the door for a wild card berth, just 3 points behind.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to tread water in Bedard's absence, obviously. And you mentioned Ryan Green, you mentioned Oliver Moore, you mentioned Lev Shinev, you mentioned Frank Nazar. Hopefully he can get back. And then, vets like Tyler Bertuzzi and Andrei Burkowski just kind of hoping this team can, like I said a second ago, tread water for a little bit here. On the goaltending side, Spencer Knight, 909 save percentage. What an acquisition for the Chicago Blackhawks. He's getting the job done. Then you got I won't say a rookie necessarily, but Soderblom's been around for a little bit. He's an 873 save percentage. So we'll see how the Blackhawks split up their goaltending starts. But yeah, I mean, it really feels like 4 points or bust this weekend, and anything less. I mean, if they walk away with 3 points, the Golden Knights, okay, fine. But really feels like 4 points or bust or bust.
Okay, so what is the goalie rotation for this weekend set here in the Midwest for the Golden Knights?
Do a shot of Jameson, put on a blindfold, spin around three times,
spin the bottle.
Darts. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to read Cassidy right now. We felt that they would have done opposite on this last run, and they ran Carter Hart out for 4 in a row, which definitely
he might be in net for both games this weekend.
You know what? That's the thing. I mean, neither goalie all of a sudden has looked that great as of late. It's gonna be they're gonna split it up. I think number one, and I think you go Carter Hart first. I don't think you're not gonna start. Carter Hart got the pull, and Schmid didn't do anything to necessarily say, okay, it's my net for a couple games. We're gonna see what happens here. But we have seen the Golden Knights when they know what they have in goalie A. They do run goalie B out there for a while to see what they have. They've done that to Aiden Hill. Obviously, they've done that to Logan Thompson. So maybe they do that right now with Schmid for a little bit.
These aren't difficult games for the Golden Knights. And that Chicago game could be, well, again, Chicago is going to come in tired after flying from D.C. back to Chicago on the back-to-back, which is so rigged. But the Chicago team, Chris, you're aware, obviously, you know more than most of us. They're playing rookies. They're also playing players now that have expanded roles. So how difficult is that for your team? For your native team?
I mean, I think it's fun. I think the young players, I don't think there's a lot of pressure in Chicago, number one. I'm not saying they want to go out there and lose, and they're expected to lose by any means, but they're playing pretty loose and pretty free. And the players that have been there for the last 2, 3, 4 seasons are excited right now because they are part of something that is growing. So I think this is a good time to be a Chicago Blackhawk, whether you're obviously not Bedard necessarily, but a Bertuzzi, a Burkowski, or these youngsters like Lev Shinev and, Oliver Moore and Wyatt Kaiser and Alex Vlasic. I think they're having a blast right now trying to grow this into, we got time before that happens, but into a playoff roster that could compete for a Stanley Cup one day. So I think they're having a blast right now.
And you have a very much miffed Conor Bedard who doesn't make the Olympic team when he returns.
Yeah, that was, and there was some tough words about that too. It seemed like
Should be.
it was not injury related. It sounded like.
No, it's so political. And speaking of the
Here we
Olympic,
go.
just
The
announced
Tony
this
segment
morning,
coming up.
right before we came on the airwaves, the USA Olympic hockey team roster will tell you if Noah Hanifin made it, he did. Enough of the teaser. Back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better every Friday night, right before the games tip off. You need to check it out. FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with something called NBA Happy Hour. That's right. Let's meet at the bar. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, and it's a limited time window where special offers drop right inside of the FanDuel app right before the action begins. And it starts Fridays 3 to 4:30 Pacific time, 6 to 7:30 Eastern. And you have to definitely have appointment viewing time with NBA Happy Hour. Opening the FanDuel app during Happy Hour always brings something new. So they have boost, they have bonuses, and a ton of surprises. So check it out. So right before tip-off, again, check out the FanDuel app, see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour. And that is every single Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Welcome back on this edition of Lockdown Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Gawlik reporting. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Of course, find us wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to our Lockdown Golden Knights YouTube channel or catch us on TV. SSSEN, a terrific partnership with our good friends there at Fox here in Las Vegas, and daily 1 o'clock, 1 to 1:30 p.m. right there, cable channel 77 on the Cox box. So the USA Olympic team roster was announced this morning, and we were scrambling because it happened right before we got on the air. And as everyone knows, Jack Eichel, one of the first 6 players named to Team USA, and Noah Hanifin this morning named officially to Team USA Hockey. Now, of course, I'm a lifetime New York Rangers fan. My Winter Classic hat here cost a ton of money, Gawlik. But Noah Hanifin makes the team. 28 games, 2 goals, 12 assists, 14 points. Adam Fox, and I'm not being a homer here, Adam Fox of the Rangers does not make the team. 28 games, 28 points, 4 goals. So can you tell me why Fox is snubbed? And also JT Miller, the guy who we saw here in Vegas chasing imaginary pucks the last time we saw him, he makes the team. How does this happen? How in the world does this happen, Mr. Gawlik?
JT Miller, I don't have a lot of details about. I don't know kind of who the cut line was. I mean, I know Alex Tuck, there was a lot of conversation. Obviously, his name is not on this. Tage Thompson is, so good for Tage. I'd say Tage's only shot to win some type of championship, but the Sabres are still crawling back up towards being a playoff team, and we'll see if they can have a magical season or not. But yeah, I mean, Fox or Noah Hanifin, I mean, watching this Golden Knights team, it's hard to look at Noah Hanifin as an Olympian. And to be fair, I don't watch the Rangers nearly like you do. The Blackhawks are my Rangers to you, or other way around. You know where I'm going with that here. So it's hard to necessarily look at this besides a statistical perspective. And yeah, you got 4 goals and 24 apples for Adam Fox in 28 games. Noah Hanifin has also played 28 games with half of both numbers, 2 goals, 12 assists. A little step farther.
How does that make sense? In what economy does this make sense?
-7 for Hanifin, +3 for Adam Fox. Both teams are
brutal. Like, it's just so political. This is the worst. I hate when it gets to politics, and they need to have some sort of formula on how these players. There's so much data out there today how come they can't rely on some sort of analytics to decide which players go or not? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Because
It
the
is.
game is played by humans, Tony. That's the answer to that question, number one. And number two, one of
Number one,
Adam
it's
Fox's
political.
best assets are going to be his ability on the power play unit to run a power play. Well, you got some other players that can run a power play here, starting with Quinn Hughes, who likely, and Zach Werenski. Zach Werenski, a player doesn't get mentioned a lot because he's a Blue Jacket, but definitely those two can run a power play. And then you got plenty of forwards where you don't have to have one of these forwards playing the QB position here. So I think that's possibly part of it. And apparently Noah Hanifin is viewed as a better even strength asset. I don't know. I mean, I go back to my perspective of Noah Hanifin in international exhibition competition. And Hanifin is the one, if you go back and watch that McDavid game-winning goal, Hanifin is the first player that made a major mistake in that. The puck rims around the boards, around the back of the net. Hanifin's right there. If Hanifin plays that puck and disrupts that pass, it doesn't necessarily get out to McDavid in the slot, and maybe they're still playing that USA versus Canada game. Maybe it never would have ended. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, if you're going to just tell me as someone who watches mainly only the Golden Knights and point at possible Olympians, not looking at any other information besides maybe an Olympian, no. I don't know if I would pen Hanifin as a potential Olympian. And then you look at the likes of who he's out there with. I don't know. Are him and Seth Jones the scratches? I mean, Faber's in this lineup. Quinn Hughes is in this lineup. McAvoy's in this lineup. Sanderson, I think, played really well in this lineup.
Seth Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I think Seth Jones
Jake
and Hanifin
Sanderson's
are 1, 2, 3.
Slavin.
Basically, you're going to have Seth Jones, Slavin, and Hanifin competing for a spot on that lineup, I think.
And then the forwards, yes, it's a pretty good lineup here. So you have Dylan Larkin, Austin Matthews, Jack Hughes, Matt Boldy, Kyle Connor makes the team. Of course, Jake Guentzel, Clayton Keller, JT Miller. I'm still miffed about that. Brock Nelson, Tage Thompson, Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, and Vincent Trocheck makes the team as well. And then the goaltenders, Connor Hellebuck, you've got Jake Ottinger, and Jeremy Swayman. So I don't feel as confident in the net for Team USA. I'll say it right there.
I mean,
I don't know who else is left out there
doing as far as their goaltenders, although Logan Thompson's been struggling over the last few starts here. We'll see if he can right the ship before they jump on the plane to Italy here. And yeah, I mean, listen, two dynamite teams, USA and Canada. It will be a ton of fun. Depending on how it shakes out, if they do wind up playing in the gold medal game, obviously there's a lot that has to happen before that happens, but should be a ton of fun. And I do wonder, the hockey itself is going to be good. How's the animosity going to play out, knowing that they can't fight? I'm curious how that gets worked out. I would not be surprised to see some ejections because they do start fighting. But yeah.
Okay, so we have for VGK now, so Eichel, Hanifin, and they'll join Marner, Stone, Theodore. And then for we've got the Great Dane too, Ronbjorg. I haven't seen that official news. Oh, he was one of the first 6, right? I think for Denmark.
I'm still waiting for Alex Holtz. If Alex Holtz,
you're holding out for Holtz.
Sweden, I
hold out for Holtz. That's our new campaign. Hold out for Holtz.
50 points for Holtz. 50 points. It's coming. It's coming. He's going to be amazing in the KHL.
And of course, so an Adam Fox could still make the roster, injuries and such. There's still a lot of hockey to be played before they go to Milan.
It's like a loser point for Adam Fox, Tony, if he makes the roster this way now. He's a loser.
Well, a loser? How is that?
Loser points. It's
okay.
A loser
and Conor Bedard now. Conor Bedard, I think he'll be in Italy. He'll be there.
I don't know. I mean, like I said earlier, I think we were talking offline about it, but the situation of Bedard is unique because some comments came out. It seemed like it's not injury related for Bedard which is, I don't know.
How does a Shea Theodore make Team Canada when he's been hurt, 80% of the season here?
Well, really fast here. You can definitely read between the lines with injuries.
Oh, don't say the tea leaves. Don't get started.
No, but listen, Matthew Tkachuk is going to be back at some point, obviously, or he's not going to be on this roster. Shea Theodore is going to be back at some point, or he's not going to be on this roster. And then now William Karlsson. was likely going to be back before the Olympics, likely be an Olympian. That news breaks where he's not going to be available all of a sudden. So reading between whatever you want to call it right now, this gives you some look ahead. Jack Eichel, another injured player at the moment. This gives you a perspective of who's going to be healthy or not in the coming, month and a half.
Okay, so the Olympics will be in Italy. So we're going to say reading between the ravioli. We have to make
the breadsticks.
Okay. Coming up next, we'll have our WTF with the Friday. Stay with us for this segment next, right here on Lockdown Golden Knights. Thank you for making Lockdown Golden Knights your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Lockdown the #1 sports podcast network. If you never miss an episode, it's time to make it official. Join the Lockdown Everydayer Club, and you can get ad-free audio, access to our members-only Discord, and much, much more. It's all built for our most loyal fans. Go to lockdownpodcast.com/everydayer. Welcome back on Lockdown Golden Knights from Las Vegas. A little spicy here today. Spicy ravioli, if you will. Like Tony Cradasco and Chris Gawlik reporting. And is that time?
The best ravioli comes from a can. There you go.
WTF. It's WTF time for everyone out there. This is the segment where we get a lot of your comments, and then we throw in our spicy comments as well. So it's the annual dad's trip this weekend for the Golden Knights to St. Louis and Chicago. The dads had a lavish dinner last night. Did you see that menu? Like 17 courses, for crying out loud. So I have to ask, do the sons pay for this? They should be. Do injured players make the trip too? Do they? I think
not usually. No, I joked. I wonder if Shea Theodore's dad made the trip, because Theodore was injured last year, I believe, for the dad's trip, and his dad still went. He was the reporter.
Oh, that's right. Okay. The players need to splurge for something. The Golden Knights are 11-0-1. 11-0-1 on dad's trips. So, WTF, you need to splurge, players, for your dads.
Yeah, I like that. So you had a good open. I don't know if AI is going to agree, but you had a good open as far as some good stats and everything. And you talked about the goal differential. Right now, number one, the Golden Knights goal differential is 0.
It's even, right? Yeah.
Number two, a goal differential of 0 is good for tops of the Pacific Division. The Golden Knights,
that's crazy,
are the best have the best goal differential in the Pacific at 0. And then the overall differential, I was doing math while you were doing your first, getting the show going and everything, the roadmap and all that. The goal differential of the Pacific right now, -71.
WTF. Kelly McCrimmon needs to stop welching on his bet. He needs to pay back Logan Thompson with the case of beer that he bet Thompson. The bet was McCrimmon said that Thompson would never play in the NHL, and it was only for a stinking
shock this all came out publicly, but yeah.
That should be, it was for a stinking case of beer. It should be for a keg. It should be for like a microbrew set up in his house or something like that. WTF, stop welching. Stop welching right there. I've got one more, and then we can go with the other ones. Okay. Winter Classic Rangers and Panthers today. This lead costs too much. So that's in a dome where they can open the roof. So that's pretty cool. The weather unseasonably cold in Florida. The setup, though, looks so lame. So they have like a beach on one side, and then there's hockey-ish stuff on the other side. This is like the weather's not going to do anything. They moved this to a nighttime game so that they wouldn't have to deal with the sun there in South Florida, but it's climate controlled. They're going to close the roof. Everything will be fine. And they're playing it at night so they can avoid the sun. WTF. This is more cheesy than the Cheez-It Bowl.
WTF that they're doing it on the second instead of the first when a lot of people were off work and able to watch the game. But
yeah,
that's another story for another time. Gary Adrian was having some fun on YouTube. The problem with Colasar's defensive McNabb, he didn't take Mike Bunting to the box with him. I think that's actually a great perspective right there.
Good point.
And then he followed that up with WTF, Tony. Untangle your headset cord. It was a little tangled.
It is. Look at it. It's still tangled. And I saw that after the show. I I got to get back to reality here. I'm still on.
Stop shopping on Temu, buddy. Are they? They're not a sponsor, are they? Okay, good.
No, they're not. Blast them.
So WTF here. Into the Golden Knights game this week. Backstreet Boys night. Whoopty friggin' do. Bye. And
yeah, boy bands.
There's no WTF in itself right there.
Right.
But $100 for a T-shirt, $300 for this jacket jersey thing, and it gets you wonder. I know this is a little different, it's a collaboration, fine, whatever, but I've talked about the season tickets publicly and the situation where I feel that fans do not have protection now because we don't know what the playoffs are going to cost if the team makes the playoffs, not for the 26 but for 2027 when the contracts are up. So there's no protection as far as what the fans have for price escalators and playoff pricing and all that. And you look at just how much more everything is kind of starting to cost around the arena and stuff. And you got these new money guys that are employed by the Golden Knights. It just feels like right now, when I was in the casinos, right? It feels like a new general manager comes in and how are we going to make more money? Okay, we're going to add a zero to the roulette wheel. We're going to increase the resort fees. We're going to start paying 6 to 5 blackjack instead of 3 to 2, or we're going to have
charging for parking.
Yeah, exactly. And it just feels like they're taking the easy way out. And listen, it's a professional sports franchise. They got to make a lot of money. I get that. It's about the money at the end of the day. It's what everything is. The sport is secondary. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you. And even Foley, when he talks about it, Foley's here to make money, and that's fine. But find a way not to put it on the season ticket holders and the people that built this franchise from the ground up from a financial perspective. So stop adding zeros to the roulette wheel. Start paying 3 to 2 on blackjack again. Give me a reason to keep my season tickets. WTF.
VGK did not take your advice and did not bring up Lucas Cormier.
He's hurt. Someone
Jacob
said
Magna. Okay. But why Magna though? Why? That's a
size, experience.
Okay. Oh, he's a captain. He's a captain. Right. What's he going to lead here?
Let Joe Fleming play defense in the NHL. Let's go.
So maybe he'll draw in for today's game, and over the weekend, maybe he'll get a chance to play. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in today on Lockdown Golden Knights. Monday, we'll have a big show again because we'll be recapping the 2 games and talking about much, much more. Any other news that breaks. I'm still miffed. I'm still miffed about Hanifin over Fox. I'll get over it. And yes, for sure. Subscribe wherever
you need a Hanifin Team USA jersey for Monday
on all of our platforms, as we know you will. Keep the comments coming. They keep us alive here. For my man, Chris Gawlik, I am Tony Cardasco. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you back here on Monday, right here on Lockdown Golden Knights.